Welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull. Thanks for being with us. Well, today we're talking about top college real estate programs. Please welcome my next guest, Rosemary Scanlon. She is Dean of New York University Schack Institute of Real Estate. Rosemary, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure, Michael.
Well, you know, the getting an education in commercial real estate is so important, and it seems like some people forget about that want to get into the industry, and NYU is well known for your real estate department there. Tell us about the real estate department and what's different about NYU.
Well, first of all, we are a standalone real estate institute. We do not belong to a business program or MBA program or an architectural program. And we were founded that way 45 years ago, first by real estate developers, particularly Larry Silverstein. And the master's program was carved out about 27 years ago by Glenn Refrano and Larry Silverstein. So that makes us pretty unique. It was the industry said we must have formal training, and so the curriculum was developed along that line.
And how big is the real estate department there?
Well, this year, we just started last week. I have a total of 630 graduate students in 3 different master's programs. This is at the graduate level. And we have a new undergraduate program just begun a year ago. So I have, I think, 18 sophomores this year and 26 in the new freshman class. We'll build steadily but slowly in the undergraduate. And again, that's a standalone program.
Okay, and tell us about a few of the programs that you offer there.
Well, at the graduate level, we have 3 master's programs. The long-standing one is the Master's in Real Estate, and there the big concentration is finance and investment in real estate, or asset management, portfolio management in real estate. We then have a construction management master's, and our newest, going into its 5th year now, is a real estate development, a master's that has concentrations in development, in sustainable development, and in global real estate development.
Yeah, that's interesting. So tell us a little bit more about the global development program.
This is quite new. We launched it fully last year. We have quite a few students, or at least a nice even dozen, or I think heading towards 2 dozen, specializing in that master's. And they look at issues. New York is a global real estate center, but also looking abroad and overseas at what is happening in London, in Europe, particularly in China, other Southeast Asia, and which complements, I think, our global emphasis is that our entire program, all 3 master's programs, are attracting students from around the world.
Yeah, that's interesting. It is a global environment these days. And tell us about your alumni and the people in the business world. How might they work with NYU?
Right. At this point, we have about 3,500 alumni from Schack scattered around the New York area, around the United States, and around the globe. We try and stay in touch with them closely. We do some international study tours for our students. We tie in with our graduates, our alumni, where we find them, say, in Shanghai or Hong Kong or Singapore or London. And so the alumni are very important to us. Then from the industry itself, I have an advisory board of about 80 people from the industry who regularly give me advice and counsel on what is going on in the industry. And then thirdly, we do 2 large conferences here in New York. In the fall, we do a conference on capital markets, and we bring in about 650 people for that conference, and some from around the world attend. Springtime, we do a big conference on real estate investment trusts, REITs as they're called. And again, that's a very large conference. Last year also 650. So that keeps us tied in with the leaders in the industry who come as speakers to these conferences and therefore become associated with us.
So those are great conferences. Are those open to other professionals? Can they attend?
Oh, definitely.
All right, that's
It's
great.
Open to our,
And-
obviously, and to some degree, our students. Maybe 150 to 200 of that attendance will be our students. The rest are supposed to be in class at that point.
That's right.
But it's a great resource.
Well, what would you say that NYU is most known for in the industry?
Well, you mean specifically in the real estate industry?
Right. Is it known for producing great developers? Or what?
Well, I think that we're known first because of our longtime affiliation with leaders in the industry. I mentioned Larry Silverstein particularly, since I think we're here because of his vision 40 years ago. And so the industry knows that this is an institute that grows out of the industry and the need for it. And also the fact, too, that we have many of our Schack graduates working for the leading industry companies, whether they're on the finance and investment side or whether they are on the development side. So I think that also makes it unique. And again, as I mentioned earlier, the fact that we are standalone. This is a real estate master's program, or the same will be true for our new undergraduate students. They'll have maybe one or two business courses in the undergraduate level, but they'll be well educated on liberal arts and core science courses, and then they'll move into real estate development, and real estate finance.
Okay. Now,
So I think that makes us unique. Sorry.
And while I have you, I want to ask you, I know you speak in other countries around the world, and you have a background as an economist. What do people think about the U.S.? What is their perspective of U.S. and U.S. real estate when you're speaking in places like Australia and Asia and Europe?
Well, I would say in the earlier years of the 2000 decade, or even in the late 1990s, then the interest was on the type of economy that New York had, and with our emphasis on large professional business services, and also the very strong hospitality industry and arts and culture industry in New York, and how that was reflected in the type of mixed-use development that was coming along. Clearly in the 2000s, as the city moved into the redevelopment of the World Trade Center, and now into the development of the very large programs, for example, the Hudson Yards, the West Side development, which has been billed as the largest in the country, or in downtown Brooklyn at the Atlantic Yards Center. The city has now recovered sufficiently to move into the development of these mega projects. And that's what I'm finding now, that draws interest from businesses around the world or from our students coming in from other countries to study in New York.
Well, that makes sense. Isn't New York such a major market and such a global market? Well, Rosemary Scanlon, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you coming in on Skype and talking to us.
Right, my pleasure, Michael.
Well, stay tuned. We'll have more on the top college real estate programs in just a moment. I'm Michael Bull. This is the Commercial Real Estate Show. We'll be right back. The Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Florida International University and Bull Realty Commercial Brokerage, a great place to do business. For more information on these companies or to access additional podcasts, videos, or blogs, visit commercialrealestateshow.com.